What's going on, guys? Welcome to Own the Chaos, where we talk about everything OTC. My name is Brad, and I'm here to talk to you about a stock that I've been watching since the beginning of the week, actually towards the end of last week and the beginning of this week. And I told you guys it was a stock to watch on Monday, and it has since then taken off. And I kind of want to break that down for you. But first, I want to welcome those of you who are visiting for the first time. I hope I earned your subscription by the end of the video here. If you're not familiar with how I do things on my live stream, what I usually do is I kind of go over the topic at hand, and then I'll open it up for questions. So feel free to shout out some questions that you might have based off of either today's topic or just OTCs in general or how to trade, whatever. I'm here for you, and we'll go ahead and get that started. And so, yeah, guys, I know a lot of you have been really excited about CMGO. That is the stock that I'm going to be talking about today, that I have a $750 investment in, and I have seen gains, and my position is now valued at over $5,500, which is freaking awesome. And so I'm going to break that down for you, and I don't want to go into too much detail, only because I've been covering this a lot, so I don't want to beat it to death, but I just kind of want to update you on where I'm at on this position and how I see things turning out here, and what might be the next steps for exiting the position when or if that time comes, and we'll just break that down as well. So yeah, welcome photo guy Neil, welcome. I hope you like the shirt, bud. I saw you got the shirt. If you guys aren't familiar with the OTC shirts, there's a link in the description. I encourage you to check that out. Neil said he covered profits. Muiz, welcome. All right, so just kind of get this started here. So I want to break down the chart first, and I want to do that because primarily because I was showing you guys how there is this bull flag here on Monday when I had that pre-recorded video for you and show you how this bull flag was forming, and then lo and behold, I mean, this has been probably one of the most predictable stocks that I've traded in a long time. I was able to identify this bull flag pattern, and then what do you know, boom, some attention was finally caught on this, and it has since started to run. Now, I know a lot of you guys really just want it to continue to run or whatever else, but after it makes this huge jump, I mean, it's up over 100% from where it was down here. It's up, well over 1,000% from its lows just from last week, which is amazing. Actually, it's a week ago today that it started running in the first place. So we can see here that it's starting to consolidate a little bit. Today it was down like 1.52%. But I wanted to touch on this because, it made this big jump here yesterday. And for those of you who aren't familiar, I graduated from college yesterday, so I had a busy day yesterday. Wasn't able to go live with you guys, so just kind of revisiting this a little bit. But, it had a low day today, but it's just kind of like in a reconsolidation phase. That's what happened here, right? So if this pattern continues, we could see even higher highs. Right now, we're seeing lower lows, and it's really just looking strong. I really love the way that it's going, and here's why it is running in the first place. So they are suing a company for racketeering, and the original date was set in June, and you can see here that they moved up the court date to the 31st. So if you can see here, the 31st, it was moved up. The court date has been moved up. Now, a lot of times that means that it goes in the favor of the plaintiff. It appears, and I was reading a lot of other articles on this, doing my own due diligence, just like I encourage you guys to do. And the judge that's kind of overseeing this thing is really not happy with the defendant that's in part of this. And one of the damning pieces of evidence that is against this defendant is that there are incriminating text messages from this other company that was basically swindling CMGO, and there's a $200 million lawsuit. If you do the math, just 10% of that valuation would valuate the price per share somewhere around 4 cents. I don't know if it's going to get to 4 cents, but when you do those valuations, it definitely would increase the value of that stock. So if we go back and look at NTLK, that ran from trips all the way up to over 4 cents because of a lawsuit. It ran up through the lawsuit. They won that lawsuit. BRKK is another one, went up to 14 cents from a 000 stock. So there's a pretty wide array of possibilities, but I'm following everything that I can, especially when it comes down to the chart and the momentum here. It's obviously still very much a strong play that I'm going to continue to watch and follow. I have taken my initial investment out of this stock, so I protected that initial investment, just like I always like to preach to you guys, to make sure that you cover that initial investment and continue to ride those profits, and then sell those profits whenever you are comfortable with whatever profit that you have. But the most important thing, especially if you're just starting out trading, whether it's OTCs or the like, is to protect that initial investment. That's how I found success in this crazy, chaotic world that we call the OTC. But protecting that initial investment is so important, because you don't want to lose, especially if you start trading, because you don't want to lose that little nest egg that you work so hard to save up for to start trading with. And then whatever is left in there is just pure profit. So let it ride out. See whatever you're comfortable with. If you see another 10-15% gain and you just want to get out, then that's your prerogative. If you want to hold on to it till it sees 600-700%, that's your prerogative. That's what I did. I sold out of my initial investment, and I still am seeing over 600% in gains, which is fantastic. But it's something that happens in the OTC often, and that's why I think, in my opinion, now obviously everybody's going to have their own, but I'll just throw mine out there, that I think that trading in the OTC is great for people who are just starting out, that have small accounts, because you can grow them like bigly and just exponentially faster than if you were trading on the New York Stock Exchange, because those stocks are much more regulated and they're not as volatile. And that's why I love the OTC, because of the volatility. Yes, there's risk involved, but if you diversify properly and take the steps that I have laid out on this channel to do, you can also find success based off of my strategy. Now, sometimes it doesn't work for everybody, but everybody has their own, I guess, niche or strategy that they are comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with, then it's not for you. I'm not going to force it down your throat or anything like that, but it's just how I've found success, and so I like to share that with you guys. I was fortunate enough to have somebody mentor me and be able to find success in doing this, and so this is kind of just like my way of paying it forward and being able to help you guys find success as well. So don't know if there's any other questions here, but I'm going to go ahead and check this out. So there is a cap on how many OTC stocks you can buy on Thinkorswim. Not that I'm aware of. Thinkorswim is TD Ameritrade. I have plenty of positions on TD Ameritrade. I've never been limited on the amount of positions that I could take. So no, I don't think there is a cap on how many stocks you can buy on Thinkorswim. It's all TD Ameritrade. Chicago Kenny donated to my channel. I appreciate it, man. 25 bucks. That's awesome. I really do appreciate anybody who chooses to donate to my channel and continue to express their support. It makes me just want to keep going. So I do appreciate that. Thank you. What are examples of OTC stocks? Well, I just gave you one. CMGO is a example of OTC stock that was featured on today's video. There's plenty of other ones you can check out. GMOS, FBRD, there's a bunch of them. And if you're not familiar with what OTCs are, over-the-counter stocks, the best way I like to explain it is, if you're sick and you get written a prescription to go get a drug filled at a pharmacy, the reason you need a prescription is because those drugs are much more regulated than if you had a sore throat and you wanted to get just a bottle of NyQuil, because that bottle of NyQuil is what they call an over-the-counter medication, whereas those drugs you need a prescription for are much more regulated. And if you use that same kind of mentality, you would, or that illustration, you're going to view those prescription drugs as the New York Stock Exchange. All those stocks that are on the New York Stock Exchange, the Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ, those are all your prescription drugs. Everything else that is less regulated, it's going to be out on the counter, it's going to be out on the shelf that you can buy, and those are the over-the-counter stocks. Those are stocks that are not traded on the New York Stock Exchange, because oftentimes these are much smaller companies that have to meet certain requirements in order to be traded on the New York Stock Exchange. And so a lot of them are trying to, and I'm not going to say all of them because there are some really bad companies out there, but I think that's just as it is anywhere. But you have to try to find, and that's the importance of doing your due diligence down here, is that you have to try and find the ones that are good and the ones that are going to run based off of whatever catalyst they might have going on. And in this recent example, CMGO is that. And so, and not to say that the OTC doesn't have its own regulation. They have OTC BB, OTC QX, or QB and QX, and so those are a little bit more regulated. They have to meet certain requirements, like hold a price per share over a certain amount of time and have all their filings up to date and stuff like that. But that's just kind of like a brief overview of exactly what over-the-counter stocks are. So a lot of people congratulating me on my graduation. Thanks. It just feels like a huge weight has been lifted off of my shoulders, that I can just really focus on helping you guys and be able to continue that. Best platform to trade. TD Ameritrade and E-Trade are my favorite ones. What's your current opinion outlook for MCGI? I think we're just waiting on filings. I'm still in it, still just kind of hanging around. It's maintained its gains for the most part. It's just hanging around that 001 price point. Not really much going on with it, but I'm just going to hang in there and see what happens for at least till the end of May, and then maybe I'll make a decision on whether or not I don't have the patience for it. Watch what happened with Coho and CMGO today makes me wish I understood the nuances of level 2. So I do have videos of level 2. I have a couple of them actually, so I encourage you to check those out. Any video where you show how to buy and sell on TD? Yes, I show how to buy and sell on Thinkorswim actually. If you check out my limit order versus market order video, that shows you how to buy on Thinkorswim. Are you ever free for a phone call or Discord chat often? So sometimes I get on voice chat. It's really random, but when I get out my when my website comes out and my course comes out, I'm actually going to be having a service where I provide some consultation with you guys, and I haven't quite figured out if it's going to be one-on-one or group session. I think group session is going to be the more practical one, only because if I try to do one-on-one, I would never get anything else done. Which, by the way, if you're not aware of, I have a new website coming out. It's called WeTradeHQ.com. It's not live yet, but you can go and register your email we will email you when we go live. We'll also send you newsletters to update you on the status of our website. Basically, all it is a social exchange of cryptocurrency and stocks, over-the-counter stocks, whatever. Anything you guys want to talk about, there's plenty of forums on there for each ticker and cryptocurrency that's out there. We also have Discord that's going to be integrated into it, as well as courses, guides, everything. It's going to be a one-stop shop for you guys to be able to communicate and connect with each other, and also learn how to trade and make yourselves better traders. So I can't wait for that. Again, it's WeTradeHQ.com. And let me see if there's any other questions. When's the course being released? It's going to be released in June is our target time frame. We're hoping June 1st. We're getting down to crunch time, but sometime in June is when it will go live. Any step-by-step due diligence videos? Tons of them. Okay. Well, that's where I'm going to cut it off there, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. If you're visiting for the first time, I hope I earned a subscription from you. If you like this video, please smash that like button as well. I certainly would appreciate it. Just a couple of things. Check out the links down below for our Discord chat room, where we network every day and talk with like-minded individuals. We also have a Facebook group that I'm a part of that is Techbuds-Solutions. Ricky Gutierrez is my partner. He's an excellent guy and a great trader of ETFs. Plenty of other links down there. Equity feed. I use a scanner out there and that's how I find a lot of these OTC stocks. So check out the equity feed link down there. If you're interested in getting equity feed, you can get a 10% off prescription. 10% off your subscription by entering in the referral code Brad Smith. And that is all I've got, I think. I feel like I've covered it all. I feel like I've talked really fast. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. As always, I will see you all before the bell, and B. Smith is out.